Welcome everybody to the December Frontend Masters Community Hangout. Today we have updates from the last couple of weeks, and then I'm going to cover cool things that happened throughout the year. So first, we released a new course on building AI power apps with Node, and that is very cool because he does things like semantic search where you're like asking questions that aren't in the data, but through the language model understanding what you're actually asking for, you get much better search results. He has AI generated images, and then he shows how to have AI call functions, right? And I think that's pretty interesting because you could potentially build your own Skynet. Um, Hopefully not. Hopefully we don't see Skynet soon, but it's definitely possible. Yeah, TypeScript, we completely revamped all of our TypeScript learning paths. So if you go to frontendmasters.com/learn/TypeScript, 3 out of those 4 courses are brand new. We just released them this week, and that includes TypeScript fundamentals. So everything from all the key features of TypeScript when it comes to type aliases and union and intersection types, and he even gets into generics. So it's a pretty advanced for a fundamentals course on TypeScript, I would say. And then his intermediate TypeScript course, I would say I would consider it an advanced TypeScript course, but because it has everything from like extreme types, I'm reading through my notes here, nullish values, ES modules, and advanced generics, namespaces, classes, top and bottom types, utility types, conditional map types. There's a lot of stuff in there that I've never even dug into, and I definitely need to. So I was in the workshop, half of it, and I'm definitely going to go through the rest of that course. And then enterprise TypeScript is all about configuring a large project across a team. So if you're leading a team and you want to make sure that your TypeScript repo is all set up correctly for your team to work together, that is a great course to take. So yeah, check out our TypeScript Learning Path. It's completely revamped with Mike North. He's tech lead for the developer platform at Stripe. So extremely great position to understand how to work across large teams when it comes to TypeScript. So you can definitely trust that content. Really excited to see how those courses do because I know people have been very excited about it. We've been in the studio recording a ton. We have recorded a lot of stuff. We have recorded Vite and Tailwind, Enterprise Management, 101 and 102 with Jem Young and Ryan Burgess of Netflix, Blazingly Fast JavaScript, new Advanced Algorithms course, HTMX. All of that's with ThePrimeagen. And then Anjana Vakil, who did one of our most popular JavaScript courses ever. She is teaching on vanilla JavaScript projects. So y'all have asked for this for a long time. Ability to have projects that test your fundamentals or like leverage some of your fundamental knowledge in JavaScript to actually build these projects. So she builds out a series of projects and they're all super fun. I think y'all will love that course. And then testing your JavaScript knowledge with Lydia Haley. She does 50 JavaScript questions. So there's all sorts of stuff to test your knowledge on across JavaScript. And then also we did a brand new Angular course with Mark Texan from the Angular team at Google. And he gives us all the lay of the land on the new Angular 17. I know they have a bunch of new features when it comes to something like suspense, where you wrap something in like defer, and then it is able to pull in basically lazily pull in like components and stuff like that. So it's like suspense from React and that kind of thing. And there's a bunch of new features in Angular, and it's just cool to have a completely revamped fundamentals course. So that'll be released early next year. And yeah, big news. Can't wait to see the Vite course. Yeah, that'll be out pretty soon, probably in the next couple of weeks. The Release schedule, we just released the TypeScript courses and the OpenAI course with Node, and we'll be getting to Vite and Tailwind next, I believe. When is Prime's new Frontend Masters album gonna drop? That's a good question. Yeah, the Vite and Tailwind courses are next, and then after that will probably be engineering management courses, and then after that will be Prime's courses. So I would say like late January, something like that. Not too long, but yeah, we have a lot of stuff to get out. And then he also, since you're asking about Prime, he also said he's going to come back in the spring to do Git fundamentals, and he's calling it everything you'll need to know about Git. So that should be a fun time. And then he wants to revamp his developer productivity course in the fall. So that will be awesome. Okay, someone asked about, is there any news on the blog? Andrew asked, yes. Honestly, we've been working super hard on this. It's been like a flurry of internal chat and everything in our Slack about the new blog. And we haven't officially launched anything. We haven't officially talked about anything of what we're doing there, but we have completely redesigned it. We've got new articles and we've invested a lot into it. And so I think you're going to see a lot more written content from us in 2024. And yeah, new design. And let's just say somebody you probably all know of and have heard of will be writing articles for this blog. And we also have a new guest writing program that we'll be implementing. So for sure, a lot more written content from us in 2024. So there's a question here on chat. What is the focus of 2024? More on front end or back end? We have an existing pie of courses that continues to grow, or like a list of topics in front end and just software development in general. And we want to keep those up to date. So whatever is on Front End Masters right now, we have 200 courses or so. Anything that's getting a lot of usage that is out of date, we want to update it or do a revamped one. If the topics continue to hold strong, like fundamentals of JavaScript, fundamentals of CSS, like none of that is going to change too much or too frequently. We don't have to do new updates to that, but we'll continue to expand on that pie or whatever you want to call it. So topics that people frequently request beyond front end, we're going to try to find instructors for. Right now, we put out a tweet and a LinkedIn post for C#.net people. Like, it would be great to find an instructor, someone like Mike North. He's leading Stripe's developer platform. He works with tons of developers across large code bases. He's just the perfect person to teach TypeScript for us. So we would love to find somebody like that in the .NET C# ecosystem, so we could start with the fundamentals. It's like we did one Java course with Angie Jones, and she just nailed the fundamentals. So we're hoping that she'll come back and teach more Java courses in the future. But we take a step forward. So we took a step forward by creating an intro to DevOps, and that went really well. So we did an enterprise DevOps course, and that did extremely well. So I don't know. In general, we want to keep our existing library up to date. And then when people are requesting topics that we don't have, or our existing library, something important goes out of date, we want to revamp it. So we'll be revamping React Native, both the intro and intermediate, since that community has changed a lot. I think we've already booked over 20 workshops for 2024, which is pretty awesome. And we have 100 proposals. So there's so much stuff that we would love to record, but we're just picking the best from the pile, either something that people need that needs to be updated, or a new topic area that people have been asking for a lot. I guess that's how we think about it. And obviously we started in front end. Our roots are in front end, deep JavaScript fundamentals. And as people ask for more and more things, we cover more and more things. So my honest feedback is if you do the core language and not the tools, frameworks, and the ecosystem. Gotcha. So are you saying if we do the tools and frameworks, that's not as beneficial as the fundamentals? Because I agree. Like we nailed the Java fundamentals, or I should say Angie Jones nailed the fundamentals. So that's how we always try to approach it. Like Kyle Simpson nailed the deep fundamentals of JavaScript, and Mike North nailed the deep fundamentals of TypeScript. Yeah, we always start with the fundamentals and then build on it from there. For instance, we do have quite a few Next.js courses. We have Remix, we have SvelteKit, we have all these Svelte, Vue, Angular, all those things. We have those frameworks and we keep those up to date, but 8 out of 10 of our most popular courses in the library are all fundamentals, deep fundamentals. So we focus on the fundamentals first, and then we layer in the popular tools and libraries. Like right now, HTMX is gaining steam, so we did an HTMX course. That's how we work on it. All right, so given the content company you've built, any thoughts on a podcast? Yeah, we have a podcast, so it's called the Front of Masters Podcast. It's on, yeah, it's thanks for the pitch there, or like opening for the pitch. Maybe you didn't know about it, but we have the Front of Masters Podcast. We just released 6 episodes. It's on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube. And yeah, it's gotten like 20,000 downloads. People seem to be really loving it. But yeah, I think we just released it a week or two, or I don't know, very recently on Spotify, and we already have 500 followers on there. We also recorded 5 more episodes that are being processed. So the next one is Mike North. That'll be released alongside of his new courses. And then we did one with Jem Young when he did his engineering management course, one with ThePrimeagen when he did his courses. Yeah, and Anjana and Lydia and Mark. So each of the instructors, like as they come do their courses, we've been doing podcasts with them. So yeah, I think we have 5 more ready to go. So would love a podcast with Will Sentence. Yeah, since he doesn't have any courses planned anytime soon, we'll probably have to invite him out. And we have a big project that we might be doing together. It's in the planning phases, so we're planning something big and new with Will, but it's not on the schedule yet. But yeah, maybe when he comes to do the planning, we can do a podcast. And then, yeah, all right, let's see. I'm a 39-year-old who just started studying towards a CS degree, trying a career transition, which has not been easy. Yeah, any tips? I think my advice has always been nail the fundamentals and just enjoy what you're building. We have free courses we have frontofmasters.com/bootcamp, which has 3 projects that you can do. And that's completely free. So it's 2 weeks of material. You can just start there, build a couple projects, see if you like UI development. And from there, you can pick a framework and build in that. And building projects and learning the fundamentals, but then applying it to ideas you have is definitely, yeah, it's definitely the way to go. It's hard. It's definitely, yeah, career transition is difficult. So props to you for taking that on and learning, and yeah, just get those quick wins, building things and build more things. And hopefully that your knowledge continues to snowball. And then, yeah, talking about what you learned either through a blog or on Twitter, building a network. Networking is extremely important, especially in this market, right? The more people you know, the more conversations that you have in person, it's just going to give you a much better opportunity to actually get your foot in the door. Publish practice projects for CSS and recorded one for JavaScript. Yeah, we just recorded a JavaScript projects course. Yeah. Will there be some complex apps? Yeah, a full stack practice course is definitely something that we would love to do and something that's been highly requested. So it's like we got to start somewhere. We started with CSS projects. We now tackled vanilla JavaScript projects. And yeah, in the future, it'd be great to have a full stack app, like maybe an API design, database, all of those kinds of things like designed out so that you could go and build it. And potentially you could build it in Go, you could build it in Java, you could build it in Python, or one of these full stack frameworks like Next or whatever. And that'd be a fun course to do, but also it'd be great to have those specs so that we could see from the community different people's solutions. I think that would be a really awesome thing. So it's definitely something we're thinking about for sure. Thanks for the words of encouragement. Highly needed. Great. Awesome. Yeah, good luck, man. All right. So let's go over a lot of the cool stuff that we've done for the year, because I think it's good to go over the successes we've had, things that we've launched, to give you perspective on all the things that we worked on this year. This year, we had nearly 1 million hours watched. And the cool thing about that is, it's maybe not as big as YouTube, which is the biggest video platform in the world. But we started as a niche site. I'm from a small town in Minnesota. We built up this platform year after year, just releasing great courses. It's a member only site. And to get to that type of scale where that's a lot of hours, and it's hours of really dense learning that our community is doing. And I think I'm proud of that. I'm proud of our community, proud of our instructors. It's been awesome. And then also things that we did, we increased our capacity. I remember the first year that we launched Frontend Masters, I was worried, could I book 12 workshops a year? I was worried about booking like one workshop a month. And granted, this was like 10 years ago, but we've gotten to the point where we're doing 55 workshops in a year, and we're able to continue to produce super high quality. This isn't 55 days in the studio of just small, whatever, videos or whatever. These are full day workshops where instructors, they take months to prepare this stuff. They come out, they fly out. We have a whole team on staff. We got the studio, we're recording. Everybody's focused. It takes us many hours of documentation and editing to get the courses out. But the fact that we can get 55 recorded and produced in a year is, to me, it's mind blowing, because we are a small team. We're about 20 folks. Frontend Masters is my new university. Thanks. That's awesome. Good to hear it. All right. We got to 55 workshops. We produce everything now in 4K. Also this year, we put in place somebody full time who is looking at all of the issues, things like I just mentioned, captions, if a link is wrong or something gets 404'd, or there's an issue with installing packages, etc. Like all of those things that get reported inside our player. We have a little feedback widget inside of the player that we built about a year ago. And when somebody gives feedback and it's tied to a specific timestamp in the course, it goes to our support team now. We've addressed over 1,100 items, things like I said, captions or video issues or dependency issues or all these kinds of things. We've actively supported these courses. We're the only platform that does this. I don't know any other platform that is not only re-recording updates when they need to be, but also if we don't need to record an update, we are actively supporting those courses. So when somebody reports an issue, it goes to our team. When somebody actually replies to you, fixes the course, that kind of thing. So we've had, well over 1,000 of those things addressed across of our entire library. But we're committed to supporting all of our courses, even though we're continuing to release more. So part of that is growing the team. Frontend masters or actual CS masters? I think, we've definitely grown beyond front end. And that's been a common theme. We updated the homepage text to say your path to senior developer and beyond, in-depth front end and full stack courses, because we've gone beyond the front end in quite a lot of ways. DevOps, Go, Rust, all of these things, Docker, Linux, on the command line, Vim, all these things, we've gone far beyond the front end. We're changing the branding around becoming a senior engineer, becoming a senior software developer, because that's the focus. That's what, when you look at the customer testimonials, people are not just beginners. Most of the content that's actually beginner focused is free on Frontend Masters. So everything from intro to web dev and the bootcamp and all that kind of stuff, we make all that stuff free because we hope that If you learn from all of our free stuff, hopefully you'll get a job. And then that's when our service kicks in, taking junior developers and mid-level and leveling them up to get them towards all the things that you would need to know to become a senior engineer. And then also we started recording a lot of stuff for tech leads, engineering management, enterprise UI development, enterprise DevOps. Now we're doing enterprise accessibility. Yeah, all of this stuff, enterprise TypeScript. That kind of enterprise stuff will turn into like a tech lead path or a principal engineer, senior engineer path. And so that's what we're orienting the site around. And I don't think we'll actually rebrand, but I think through text, I think the message is getting across. We'll continue to go down that route. So platform improvements for the year. We released brand new search. So the site search is vastly upgraded. You can search anything and it will search the transcripts, and you can actually go to that second when someone actually mentioned that topic or that keyword or whatever. You can actually open up the lessons, see exactly where it was mentioned, and jump right in. The search is vastly improved. We released a fully revamped self-service team management. So if you have a team or you're a team manager and you want to add and remove seats, that kind of thing, we just made it super slick and easy. The entire login registration flow, we revamped that so it's like much easier to sign up, or user settings, anything that you would ever need to do. Like we revamped all of that. And then we introduced a like course archive. People were saying like, okay, you have a lot of courses. It's very overwhelming. There's so many courses. So we introduced the learning path years ago where, their learning paths focused on the various areas that you want to get to. If you want to go from junior to mid-level or mid-level to senior, or you want to expand your horizons with the advanced expert path. So we organize all the courses in the paths, but then old versions of courses were still in our course list. So we introduced an archive to clean up the course list. So now if you are on Frontend Masters and you go to courses and you look for courses, you're only going to get the latest courses, the up-to-date courses. Yeah, we did that to clean up the site. And then we released a brand new quiz-based course, Advanced Web Development. If you take that course, it's interactive. So it'll actually pop up questions. There's multiple choice right now, but in the future we want to extend that so you could actually actively code in the browser for certain things that make sense for that. But we recorded a new one on just JavaScript fundamentals, so it's 50 questions on JavaScript, and it's that interactive quiz format, and we'll probably be doing one on CSS and maybe TypeScript next year. The quiz-based format people have been really enjoying. Let's see. Mobile. On mobile, our iOS and Android apps, everything from picture-in-picture to video zooming. People are like, what's a small screen? And I want to be able to see the code. Now you can actually pinch to zoom and see whatever you want to focus on. And then we added the ability to watch workshops and the same archived courses and improved search into the apps. This is some stuff we've done on the mobile apps. Podcast with Will Sentence. Yeah, I addressed this earlier. We've got like a super, I don't know if it's super secret, but like we are working on a new project with Will. I think we're in the planning stages. And so when he comes, maybe at some point he'll come and we'll do a planning session and do a podcast. That'd be pretty awesome. But yeah, so far we've got 6 of the podcast episodes out. We've recorded 11. So we have lots of awesome podcasts to release. I hope y'all love them. Next, we released the ThePrimeagen's algorithms course for free. A lot of people have taken advantage of that. That's great. So yeah, the last algorithms course you'll need is free. It's free for everyone. We've heard nothing but good things. A lot of people taking that course. It's building all the basic algorithm knowledge using TypeScript. Yeah, people have been loving it. Then we also released new front-end to Fullstack newsletters. So if you have, for instance, taken the free algorithms course, then you'll get on our email list. And then once a month, we email everything that's happening throughout the industry and some front-end masters updates and all sorts of goodies that have happened throughout the industry. So we've been doing that. We're on issue 7. I was just working on that this morning. And our community has grown, experimenting like this on Twitch, and we're at 3,000 followers here. And our workshops tend to get 100 to 200 or more people joining them on Twitch. So that's pretty cool. And then we're going on Twitter and LinkedIn, and we started doing these YouTube shorts and posting them on TikTok and Instagram and that kind of thing. So it's just cool to see like the community around Front-End Masters growing through releasing a lot of this kind of free snippets all around. People seem to be really liking them. So we're going to ramp that up next year. We have a lot of ideas on how we could produce more shorts and clips and stuff like that. So we'll definitely be pushing on that. New courses related to Webpack. Yeah, we recorded a Vite workshop really recently. It's actually, I believe it's the next one to go on the platform. So take a look at that. And then also the Enterprise UI development course covers everything that you would need to know to build up a UI project, like all of the things you would need to think about when building something, having a lot of contributors. So yeah, look at Enterprise UI development and then look at the brand new Enterprise TypeScript course. They're all about setting up your repo and your tooling and that kind of thing for teams. So yeah, we did Vite, but we probably won't be doing Webpack unless something changes there or that it gets more momentum. But yeah, we already have a bunch of Webpack 4 courses, and I think there's not that much difference between Webpack 4 and 5. So I think those courses are still probably some of the best resources out there for Webpack. All right. Yeah, we've continued our commitment to nonprofits. So there's 3 nonprofits that we support through both curriculum and through financial support. So That's Who Code is run by Jerome Hardaway, who he has a Getting a Software Development Job course. We release that completely free. So you can go, if you're in the market or you want to brush up on, the way you present yourself or whatever, take a look at that course. It's free. And yeah, he runs Vets Who Code, and he's helped over 300 veterans get jobs. We've donated a decent chunk of money to Vets Who Code. And then The Last Mile, who teaches prisoners to code. It's a program that's in quite a lot of prisons across the United States. There's a bootcamp where they use a lot of our material. Their team offlines all the material, all the associated resources, because they don't have internet connection. They don't have internet assets. So they have to offline everything so their students in the prisons can actually learn how to code. It's a really great organization. So we've donated quite a lot to them. And then, yeah, curriculum. Yeah, that's an important organization. We also released a little mini documentary. You can take a look at our YouTube if you're interested in The Last Mile. And then also Annie Cannons is another organization. You can go ahead and look at them as well. They teach human trafficking survivors how to code. So it is a very awesome organization. Those are the 3 organizations that we support with both curriculum and financial support. All right. Any news on the Bun package manager? In our latest Node.js course with OpenAI, we reference Bun. I think in general, I've heard some mixed opinions on actually using Bun in production. So until we get full kind of production scale Bun deployments and people are using it in production at scale, I don't think we'll do Bun, because basically if you learn all of the Node things, if you learn how Node works and everything, Bun is just a drop-in replacement for Node. So their goal with Bun is to have all of your Node code be able to just be dropped into Bun. So I don't think we'll do a course there until we see it at scale and until there's enough new or unique or different things there that it warrants a course. So in general, if you learn Node, you're good at Node, you'll be good at Bun. Our perspective on Front-End Masters is just to focus on the mission every day. So our measure of success is, are we teaching more people? Are we teaching them more deeply? Are either people watching our courses deeper, or are there more people watching the courses? And if that's true, then we've done our jobs. And that keeps it really clear. And that's why we've been in business for over a decade. And I hope we exist for a lot longer. We're making massive investments in 2024. We've expanded the office. Along with expanding the office, getting us all back in one place, we also hired a lead product designer who's been work on a design system for us. And so we've been building that out, and hopefully we can share lessons learned from our development team and kind of their approach on doing a design system for all of our software, because we have not only the website, but then we have the custom courses player and the custom workshop player, and we have the mobile apps, the iOS and Android apps, and then we have an internal dashboard. So there's a ton of software that powers Front of Masters. So she's cataloging everything and making a design systems. Next year, also in, I believe it's either March or April, we're going to be doing a whole series of courses on design systems. So everything from user testing your existing app so that when you release new changes, hopefully the stats are better, right? So user testing, design from a Figma product design perspective, and then also from a developer's perspective. So taking the Figma assets, then actually porting them to a design system in Storybook. So I believe we'll be doing Figma for product designers, Figma for developers, and then Storybook. And so being able to bring your product through that whole process, I think is going to be important. Are the mobile apps native? Yes. We have native iOS and native Android apps. They're written in, the Android app is written in Kotlin, and the iOS app is written in Swift. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we have a renewed focus on the blog. We're going to try to be opening up the blog and getting a lot more written content on the platform and investing a lot more in written content next year. Then we're going to continue to hiring. So we're going to invest a lot in the team. And yeah, traditionally Front of Masters has always been for the individual, and it still is. And obviously everything that we have built, we're continuing to invest more. But as the team is growing, we're able to take on more projects and stuff like that. So we've been interviewing like some of our bigger enterprise customers and making sure that we get things that they need. So like SSO, because ultimately, like I said in the mission, we're trying to educate more people more deeply. And part of that is, if you're at a large company, it'd be nice if you didn't have to pay for it out of pocket. You could just, your company actually had Front of Masters. So we're going to try to work with a lot of the kind of leaders and try to figure out what they're looking for from the platform, so that, yeah, like I said, we might have 5 teams that all have 10 to 20 licenses from like one company. And it's like, why does that even happen? It's because we're a grassroots project. We're from Minnesota. We don't have all these salespeople. We just basically have, either you're focused on content or you're developing for the platform, and that's it. And we have sold some larger accounts, but it's, either me or we have a small leadership team, somebody working with a few of those larger companies. And so I think at some point the plan is to hire a customer success person that can actually build those relationships, make sure that those companies are getting what they need from Front of Masters. And so I'm excited about that, because hopefully that means that a lot more people can get access to learning material and they're not forced to go to some other platform just because the CIO said, you have to use this platform. It'd be nice if Front of Masters was in a lot more of those companies. So first time here, love what you guys do. Thank you. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you love the courses. It's awesome. Would love to see the product design course where you share Figma and design systems and implementing it. Yeah, that's the plan next year. So we have a whole series on going from user experience testing all the way to product design, development in Figma, and then Storybook. So it'll be awesome. It'll be a series of 5 workshops next year. I really like what you said about Front of Master's mission. My opinion is that it would be humanizing to see it somewhere on the Front of Master site. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Uh, it's been funny because we're working on hiring. We're working on hiring some folks, and there's no like about us at all on frontofmasters.com. You can't really learn about us other than going to our YouTube and seeing there's a Frontend Master's story on YouTube. There's various videos on there. You can join the Hangouts and see behind the scenes on some of the things we're thinking about. But yeah, there isn't like a dedicated place. So yeah, at some point we'll have to bring the mission, which is, I'll just read the mission: to educate and empower more people more deeply. We equip people with mastery to use tools and turn their dreams into reality. So that's been our mission from the start. That's been there for 11 years. And that's what we do. It's like when people say, what is the big plan for the big 5-year plan for Frontend Masters? Like people ask me all the time. It's like, what is your big dream or your big, it's that. It's as long as we're doing that better today than we did yesterday, then we've done our job, because that's a mission. Hopefully our community can help each other level up in their skills. So everybody that's a part of Frontend Masters, we've heard people bringing Frontend Masters into their company. We've heard a lot of this stuff where it's like the community around Frontend Masters educating each other, using this material as a central way to learn and level up their teams and work together better. So all of that is us fulfilling the mission. That every day that we do that better today than yesterday, every day that we listen to customers, hear what you all have to say, and bring that into the platform, the things that you all need so you can learn better, learn deeper, then we've done our job. And that's why we've existed we ran the first workshops in 2011. We've been around for like 12 years, almost 13 years. And that's it. That's the mission. Yeah, the new blog is going to come out of that. Like I said, the focus on enterprise, hiring, the awesome workshops we got coming out next year. All of that is a result of the mission. Hi, no more live workshops between December 15th and March. Nope. We have 2 recording seasons. They go from March to mid-June. So that's where we record. Some weeks we record 4 workshops in a week or 2 workshops in a week. So it's like between March and June, and then we take July to retool and get through the recording queue. And we start it up again in August. We go August to mid-December, and we've made this huge push where like we've been recording 2 to 4 workshops a week for something like 8 weeks or something like that. And most companies, if you think about like general SaaS, whatever, it's like they're working on the software full time. And not only do we work on the software full time, like I said, we have the courses player, the frontendmasters.com, we have the mobile apps and the user dashboard and all that kind of stuff. But then we also run workshops. So we have to fly the instructor in and all the stuff that we're in the studio, sometimes 10, 12 hours each of those days. So we have to run all of those events. So we do 55, 60 workshops between March and mid-June, and then August through mid-December. And then that gives us the time in between to continue to edit all this stuff and get it on the platform, because that also takes a ton of work. That's basically us at full capacity. And then, of course, yeah, people take a week off around the holidays or whatever, that kind of thing. But in general, even if you take the holidays into account, people are working. Like I said, all of the production is completely full all year round. And we've continued to get more efficient. In the early years, we were only doing 12 workshops a year. Now we're up to 55, almost 60 workshops in a year. So as we get more efficient, we're able to produce more. And as there's more proposals, like for instance, we've already scheduled over 20 workshops for 2024. We'll be able to do more workshops, but we want to keep them really high quality. And also, like I said, the production team is like less than, I think there are 8 people now. And yeah, producing 55 full days. It's a lot. We're always busy. So there you go. There's my explanation around workshops. Something related to creative coding in the queue. Yeah. I'm working with, I don't know if you've seen him on Twitter, Jehey, Jhey. Definitely go look at his Twitter, because he's always posting really creative HTML, CSS, and JavaScript things. We don't have anything official on the calendar yet, but I'm working with him to try to create a workshop around some of these fun new CSS things, new CSS features, that kind of thing, where I'm thinking like the award sites, the really cool marketing sites, stuff like the apple.com site, that kind of like scrolling animations and really cool effects and stuff that you can do with CSS. All right. I think that's all I have on. I will say, definitely, if you haven't gone to the State of JavaScript survey, you should go take a look at that. Go take it. I think that's the biggest survey we have in the industry for JavaScript and front end stuff. So definitely go take a look at that. And then, yeah, that's basically all I have. If there's any final questions, I can answer them, but I think we got through everything that we get through. I'll be posting the Hangout on YouTube as always if you missed anything. And with that, thanks everybody for joining. I'll see you next time. Peace.